God dang! Look at that forehead. I'm sorry. I didn't want to start off the video like this, man. My bad.
I don't want peace. I want problems always.
My bad. But here we're gonna have a black woman, a young black woman, and she's going to explain her situation where the in her words, she's going to talk about a black man that she was interested in and how she went to some dating convention, whatever. I don't know, one of these speed dating conventions. It was a black man that she was interested in, and he wanted to approach white women instead later on. And she has questions on why black men are kind of going that route. They're just the basically the black men that she wants, or she thinks she's equally yoked with, they want white women instead, and she wants answers to why this is. Even though I've given answers to that already many times, but just black women don't want to hear it. But let's hear her out. By the way, this is a bit of a live reaction. I did not finish this video all the way through. Fair use.
I think I'm gonna get hate for this, but whatever. I approached a black man this week at like a dating event, and he was not interested in me. And that by itself is like not a right story, right? I tried to shoot my shot. He was not interested. I moved on. But immediately after I walked away from this man, he went up to a group of 5 white women and he introduced himself to all of them. And then I kind of observed out like the corner of my eye for the rest of the evening, this man was only going up and talking to different white women. Later that night, another very attractive black man came in, the exact same thing, only talked to the white women that were in the room. There were maybe 6 or 7 black women throughout. And I could tell, I would look over at the black women occasionally. They would be looking, we would all be observing the same thing. We're all thinking the same thing, right? And as someone who has reviewed a bunch of different like dating events, I have seen this play out so many times where you walk into a room, the black women are looking for other black men and the black men are not looking for black women. Unless the host of the event is like a black person or a person of color. And as much as I say that I am going to start dating outside my race, my mind, whenever I walk into like an event space for dating, my mind will automatically do a little scan for black men. Now, obviously, there are a ton of black men who love black women. I'm not saying that. I'm saying in the event spaces that I have been to that are predominantly white people, the handful of black men that are at those events are not looking for black women.
Let's keep it a buck. It's the black men that you want. It's the black men that you want. They're looking for something else. I'm pretty sure there were other black men there that found you attractive or in your life. I've seen this. Like my anecdotal. I try not to use anecdotal evidence, but my anecdotal evidence has been spot on. Like I was like at a good rate too. I try not to bring anecdotal evidence on my thing, but it's been spot on. It's been spot on. There, like women like this. I'm pretty sure there was a black dude that shot his shot at her earlier in life, or whenever, but she just wasn't feeling him. Now, this is also what I've also warned black women of this on how because the way black women treat black men in general is pretty piss poor, to be quite honest with you. And it doesn't matter if it's a hood rat black chick, a black chick from the suburbs. It don't matter. They just most of them don't treat black men well. And I've been trying to warn black women specifically that you guys are really cooked in the dating market in terms of the perception, right? Because the reason why I even talk about this because there are black women in my life. I want them to be able to find somebody. This is why I even speak on this, right? Because they're going to need somebody. They're going to want to find somebody. But your perception is cooked. So you have, I said this earlier in 2024. I said, and really, I've been saying this really for all women in general, but I've been brave enough to say this now, and I'll say in around 2024, 2023. I said black women have no leverage in the dating market. None, unfortunately, because of the perception. You can't take any advice. You don't want to take no direction. And then I will say, especially after 2022, I will say, yeah, after the year, even though it's kind of been longer than that, but I'll say after the year 2022, black women have really lost a lot of points because they were already last in terms of dating preferences in the United States. They're already in last place, but now it's the one dating demographic that was still willing to date you. Now younger black men are looking elsewhere. You know what I mean? And black men in general, they're usually top 2 in dating preferences. So they can go, particularly black men can go really anywhere and be able to find somebody if they look hard enough. If they decided to like just excommunicate, like if a black man just decided to look, I'm not gonna look for any black women. I'm just find somebody else. They'll be able to find somebody else, you know. And mind you, I'm not a person on this channel that says Latino women are better, white women are better. Especially me. I don't condone Becky worship at all. I'm definitely not pro that. You know what I'm like? Trust me. You can ask the people in my personal life. Trust me. But when I try to explain why black men are going that route, instead of people be like, oh, you know what? I disagree, but I see where you're coming from. Or let me at least take one part of that and try to incorporate. You know what I get? I get met with hate comments. I get met with, you hate your mom, ain't your mama black, and you came from a black woman. And, oh, you think white women are no. I'm saying there are things that you guys are behind and you guys need to catch up, and there's certain things that you need to do, because right now black women in the dating market, especially younger black women, unfortunately, the younger our generation gets, the new generation coming up, black women in general are not, they have like literally zero leverage in the dating market. Zero. So now a lot of black women are in a position where they're just literally like, can somebody approach us, please? You know, and the only people that are going to approach them is probably somebody not with the best intentions, you know. So right now they're not in a good spot leverage wise in the dating marketplace. And this is kind of what, you know, a lot of really black men in general have been trying to warn black women on, especially now where you're going to have like these new, like the Gen Z black men and the Gen Alpha black men that are doing well in school, doing stuff in college and whatnot. They're not going to be waiting for black women anymore. They're just going to date outside their race because they live in a different time. They live in a different type of town. And the black men that do want to date black women, it seems like black women want nothing to do with those guys. They only want to do with the Pookies, the Ray Rays, the knuckleheads, and the entertainers, right? So so you combine all of that together. Where's your leverage? Where is the demand for you, you know, as a woman in general? Forget just being a black woman, just as a woman, right? But let's replay the video. I'm going to speed it up to make sure we just skip through the nonsense. We'll replay it and we'll break it down.
I think I'm gonna get hate for this, but whatever. I approached a black man this week at like a dating event, and he was not interested in me. And that by itself is like not a great story, right? I tried to shoot my shot. He was not interested. I moved on. But immediately after I walked away from this man, he went up to a group of 5 white women and he introduced himself to all of them. And then
so now, especially the black men with leverage, they see, first of all, men that do well with women, they see how women treat men with less leverage than them. And then unfortunately, black women tend to be the worst when it comes to really kicking a man when he's on the come up. they tend to be the worst when it comes to that. And other men see this, you know what I mean? Especially men that have a future, men that do well with women. They see this. They see the Cynthia G's of the world saying what she's saying. They see, you know what I mean? People act like that black men don't see this stuff, and they're just like, wow, you really think of black men this way? Okay, we're gonna we'll just go elsewhere. You know what I mean?
I kind of observed out like the corner of my eye for the rest of the evening. This man was only going up and talking to different white women. Later that night, another very attractive black man came in. The exact same thing, only talked to white women that were in the room. There were maybe 6 or 7 black women throughout.
Notice she only talks about those 2 attractive black men. Young lady, you're gonna have to, and I don't like the term lowering your standards because we're just assuming that she's of a higher tier class. I would consider this woman, this young lady, a 3 out of 10 or 4 out of 10. She needs to find a guy. If she can find a guy that's 2 out of 10, that's a young black man that's a 2 out of 10, she would be winning. But a woman like her, she thinks she deserves, you know, the top pecking order of dude. You know what I mean? So off rip, she's playing herself, because I'm pretty sure there's other black men in her life that's probably a 4 out of 10, a 5 out of 10. But in her mind, a 5 out of 10, a 4 out of 10, she'd be lowering her standards, even though that a 5 out of 10 would be actually higher than her. You know what I mean? So this is kind of what we're stuck with here in the market spot.
And I could tell, I would look over at the black women occasionally. They would be looking. We would all be observing the same thing. We're all thinking the same thing, right? And as someone,
yeah, because you all looking at the same dudes. And this is all we've been saying in this space. You guys are all going for the same men and complaining about your results.
who has reviewed a bunch of different like dating events, I have seen this play out so many times where you walk into a room, the black women are looking for other black men, and the black men are not looking for black women.
That's on y'all. People been warning y'all for, I'll say, for decades. I forgot what her name, Sherazad Ali. She tried to tell y'all in the 90s. You know what I mean? Like, you've been warned too many times. So this is now, that's the space, especially when you talk about the black men that they want, or the black men that they would consider, or the black men with status. They're just like, I done seen what you really think about most black men. What would make me any different? You know what I mean?
Unless the host of the event is like a black person or a person of color. And as much as I say that I am going to start dating outside my race, my mind, whenever I walk into like an event space for dating, my mind will automatically do a little scan for black men.
Well, the only reason why is because other races of men are usually not looking for black women. It's usually black men going out their way to get a black woman. You know, it's very few black women that could be like, okay, I can get with a white dude or an Asian dude, Indian dude. Though girls like that, they have to already be living in the suburbs and for a decent amount of time. You know what I mean? And even those girls struggle to get what they want in terms of long term. You know what I mean? So this is something that that's why black women end up being like, why are the black men? Because those are the only dudes that would approach.
Now, obviously, there are a ton of black men who love black women. I'm not saying that. I'm saying in the event spaces that I have been to that are predominantly.
Translation. I know there's black men on my level or whatever that like me, but I'm talking to the attractive black men.
Only white people. The handful of black men that are at those events are not looking for black women.
But like I said, you already been warned. You didn't want to change. You've had people go out their way, even like, you know, when it comes to, I'm not, you know, I don't want to bring up Kevin Samuels, but I thought in my opinion, when he was alive, I didn't really appreciate him until his passing, unfortunately. And one of the reasons why is, you know, people were saying that he was trying to bring back black families, and he was trying to get black men and black women to get together again. And in my opinion, I thought he was wasting his time. that was really one of my main reasons why. It's not even the you'll have guys like my OGs, right? My predecessors, guys like Undead Chronic, and they'll talk about him stealing talking points and all this other stuff, and that's true, and him being a grifter, which is true. But really, for me, I didn't really appreciate him that much because I just thought he was wasting his time doing that. Like, I'm like, in my opinion, I'm like, yeah, I don't think you can change the community by setting up, you know, 40-year-old dudes and 40-year-old women together to create generational whatever. I don't think that works, but that's just me. You know, but there's been, but like I said, but guys like that, there's been plenty of people. Obsidian, O'Shea Duke Jackson, right? Tommy Sotomayor, a lot of these dudes. Way too many to attempt. And I don't want to mention any black MGTOW creators because or Passport Bros because they're done with y'all. I've already said this. They're just done with black women. Like you've seen people on my channel. Look, anybody that's been on my live streams, there have been people, I don't want to say their names because I don't want to get their channels in trouble. People with prominent channels have came on my stream. People that I look up to that have helped me grow in this space, right? They have come on here, mind you, in their 40s. These dudes in their 40s, they have come on my stream and said, look, if 80% of black women were to just go like missing, they said, now I didn't say this, they said that it would make really no difference, you know, to the grand scheme of things. Now, I don't look at that as hate. And people be like, what? I look at it as, well, those guys are in their 40s. And these are not immature people. These are men that have experience. They have given me sound advice, like just in life in general. But then they say that out of all the things, but they say that. Now, you can say that's hate. You can say that's whatever speech, but you have to ask the question, why would they come to that conclusion? What have they seen from a certain type of demographic to where they're just like, there's nothing there. You know what I mean? So this is the things that people need. This is where people need to do, you know, I'll say black women in general need to do a reflection. Now, mind you, I don't believe that. I don't believe that, but I do believe that black women have literally no leverage in a dating market, right now. So they're in a really bad predicament. Even if you're like a black woman that's a good person doing well, you already got to deal with that perception because most black women have not been properly prepared by their mothers, their fathers, their OGs, etc., to be what they need to be to a man, to be attractive to a man, But let me know what you think in the comment section. And by the way, like my last statements, what I said, I'm not gonna be surprised if people be in the comment section and they'll find that offensive. But I put that out there just to show these are the stuff that people have said on my channel. These are the things that people have said on my channel. And I always wonder, damn, what made what happened, or what have they seen from certain people for them to even get to that spot mentally? This is these are things that people need to think about. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Please like, share, subscribe, and thank you for watching, and thank you for your patience.